sit down and Benny's... Can you
on the back,
Benny in the back, eh? Like this. Yeah, bit more.
I guess you probably wouldn't pick some random white guy to be up here in the middle of Arnhem Land telling these people's story.
3, 2, 1, big one. Look at your face, Leonie.
But it's the way it's worked out, and to be honest, I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't stick my hand up and do this. I'm very grateful that I sort of became a mentor for those boys because, to be completely honest, it changed my life. I remember seeing them on the samples day. They came in for a sort of test boarding weekend to see if they'd like it, see if they could handle the city. Going to Scott's, a big boarding school, going from a tiny town to the big city was pretty daunting, I guess, at first, but pretty confident kids, so I just sunk my teeth into it and didn't really look back, I guess. And me coming from the small country town, sort of, I'm not sure if that played a part in why I helped out Leon and Delwyn when I saw that they were so lost, but I think it possibly just subconsciously I saw myself in them. I saw them going through similar struggles that I went through when I came into the city. Let that be on a much larger scale, but I still saw some of the struggles that I went through in what they were going through. I just remember that they moved into the same boarding house that I was living at. I remember like they could barely speak the language, they didn't know about brushing their teeth, so I just sort of saw that they needed someone, I guess, and they didn't have anyone, so I just sort of stuck my hand up, and to be honest, I didn't even think about it. It just sort of happened, and I'm very happy that it did happen, because if I didn't stick my hand up, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now telling these stories. I got invited up here by the boys when I think it was 2016, so I'd been looking after them for 4 years. Once one of them had finished school, they said, hey, why don't you come and see how we live? Just because they'd become sort of part of my family, and we'd taken them into our family, and they'd come and stay with us on weekends, and essentially we were their family in Sydney while their family was up here. So they said, why don't you come and see how we live and meet my family? And of course I was going to jump at the opportunity too, because I'd never even heard of anything like this. And before meeting these boys, I'd never even heard of Arnhem Land, or I'd never even heard of Yolngu people. And when I first came up here, I was just taking it all in. Like I didn't know what to expect. And to be honest, I didn't expect anything, and I just enjoyed meeting their families, the way that their families brought me in. There's just so much love, and that was the most amazing thing that I got from that first trip, was just the amount of love that their family gave me and how at home I actually felt up here with these guys. So yeah, it's pretty special. A lot of people have always said, oh, you're sort of not the stereotypical NRL player, and I won't argue with that. Me as a kid personally, I always loved cameras, I always loved photos and film. Living on a farm with mum, dad and my 2 little sisters, there wasn't a whole heap to do, so I guess I found myself outdoors a lot, making little films or making cubby houses. And like looking back now, I didn't really realise it, but that's where my sort of passion for film and photography and the creative arts brewed from. The nature out here is second to none, and being from the bush, I love reconnecting with the earth and just getting out of the city and breathing in the fresh air. And all the way out here, there's heaps of trees, rainforests, there's swimming holes. I haven't explored a whole heap myself because I don't want to go up the wrong creek and then not come back. But yeah, mate, some of the boys have showed me some pretty cool swimming spots, which hopefully we'll go and have a look at soon.
When I first went to Scott's, I was nervous. I wasn't sure where do I go. It was really hard for me.
Like what was going through your head?
Which building do I go? Like for classroom, where the like science room, maths room, English room, that sort of thing. He's a nice bloke. He's friendly. He supported me and Leon from the beginning when we started school. He helps me a lot. He helped me every sort of things, like through sports, finding a good friend, like to become friends with others as well. Like his friend, he came and helped me, like to be a part of the group.
longest trip I was shooting on a 5D Mark III, and I actually picked that up just before my trip up here last year. So 24 to 70mm lens, might have shot on that just because it was pretty easy to zoom in, zoom out. That was good for last year. I got some good snaps.
Other one with a spear, look.
They use this to keep the culture strong. Standing out, showing who we are.
Leon, that's what he lives for, and he's always been such a passionate cultural man, and that's what I love about him, and he's such a cool kid. And I think what attracts him so much to being home and being out here is all the culture and all the dance and all the singing and the yidaki and the things that we don't see.
I learned because my dad was a dancer, and I watched growing up all my other families doing dancing and stuff.
Do you reckon that's probably a bit of a reason why I don't want to go to Sydney?
Yeah.
So keep it strong?
Keep it strong, because my family really wants it to keep it strong.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Like, I'm thinking too much, you know? If I go there, what's going to happen behind?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Trying to so I can get older, everything. When my eldest passed away,
You can be older.
yeah, that's why. Trying to stay back. And so the songline and stories, and when Grandpa tells me, I just keep it and hold it.
Keep it strong, eh?
Yeah, keep it strong, and all the bungle and how to roll it, the bungle.
Yeah.
From start to end. Like right now, that's why I stayed here.
Yeah.
Even last year I was going to go back to Sydney, then I was like thinking, no, I go back.
Yeah, and I think that together, like if we help each other.
Yeah, if we help each other, it will be so much better. There's a Balanda Yolmo just there right now. Yeah, Minmak.
It's pretty special for me to come back here and see two of the boys that I sort of mentored and doing so well within the community in two such different ways. Like, we've got Delwyn over there being a police liaison officer. He took me through his office and took me in the police car, and then I've got Leon on the other hand, who's just so into his traditional Indigenous culture and is teaching kids about bungle, that he's teaching kids about traditional dance and singing and yidaki, and to see him running the flag of that Indigenous traditional history, and then to see Delwyn making sure that his community is safe, I couldn't be prouder of these two boys. I think the culture up here is second to none, and it's something that's so special and something that's so beautiful and something that not every country has, and that's what I sort of want to aim to do through First People Project and through my charity, is to strip it right back and say, hey, you guys were here first, why don't we learn off you? Because at the end of the day, this is Australian history, this is Australian culture. Only good things can happen from that, and I just feel so honoured that I'm here and I'm able to capture this and tell their story through me.
Original dad, the original mom up here.
We teach you mob down south, Balandas. Yo, that's how we be happy with our adopted sons.
The biggest goal is to educate people. That's the bottom line. What I want to do is, through film, I want to come up to these sort of remote communities, capture it, and sort of package it together in a way that these guys are comfortable with me distributing and sharing with the world.
Good to see him again.
Yes.
Essentially, if I can teach people and I can educate people about this beautiful culture which is inside our country and which is essentially Australian culture because they were here 40,000 years before we were, then I've done my job. And then the money that gets pumped back into it, I want to push back into these communities and say, hey, what do you want? How can I help you? If I can do that and I can help people to learn and help these people up here to feel heard and feel like white people understand their culture, I think that we'll be doing both sides a service.